Hey guys, this is Ben and I'm just enjoying a nice glass of port on this nice Sunday evening, and I thought I'd share a little bit about my story. I don't really talk about myself a whole lot because I don't want the whole 360 thing to be about me. It's more about the technology. But I do get a lot of people asking about how I started off, and there are so many people starting off in the 360 field at the moment that I thought sharing my experiences about when I first got started in 360 would probably be of help to anyone just starting or thinking about starting, because it's really not that difficult of a field. It's not too overwhelming of a technology, and if you just abide by some simple principles, you'll probably find success. Been lucky enough to find a good amount of success with my work on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook and whatnot. And there's some simple things that I did that I think a lot of people probably don't do. And I just want to share my beginnings with you if you feel like listening. So it all began in 2015, not that long ago, is it? I started off my career as a young adult as a filmmaker. I used to make short films. I went through film school a couple of times. And I had my heart set on being a filmmaker, making feature films. Wanted to be the next Stanley Kubrick. Big ego, clearly, and not that much of it has disappeared since then. But I did start my life doing something very different. And I ended up in 360 at the beginning of, well, somewhere in 2015, when I first discovered the technology. So one of my favorite bloggers is a guy named Philip Bloom. He's based in the UK. He's a filmmaker, cinematographer, and he's one of the top people in the filmmaking business in terms of bloggers. And I've followed Philip Bloom for a while. I'm sure a lot of you guys follow him as well. And if you don't, I definitely suggest it. His blogs are really, really interesting, and he plays with DSLRs, video cameras, and all that good stuff. So I was following him, and one of the new cameras he discovered was called the Ricoh Theta M15. And he posted an image one day that showed him at a beach in, I think it was Dubai or Abu Dhabi, somewhere in the UAE. And he was sitting on a beach, right? And he was sipping a fruit cocktail. And he was sipping this fruit cocktail while sitting on this floating ball of sand. I'm like, what the hell? Is that an optical illusion? Like, what the hell has he done here? Has he taken the photo from the NASA space station or what? And he mentioned this camera, the Ricoh Theta M15. So after a bit of Googling about what he'd done, realized he'd taken a 360 photo and turned it into a tiny planet. And I really think my direction totally changed that day. I fell in love with this crazy yet amazing photography style. And it's kind of become my mission at the moment to teach people 360 and tiny planet photography, as well as do it myself. The technology just had me utterly amazed. I couldn't believe that you could take the equivalent of a Google Street View photo. You know the photos you see when you scroll around on Google Street View? You could take that with something that fits in your pocket. Like, holy crap, that is pretty incredible. And I was amazed by it. Like, I thought you needed like big, complicated DSLR rigs. And he revealed it was this camera he was using. And at that time, I think I had about $599 in my bank account. Went onto eBay, and the Theta M15 retailed for $598. So it was a tough decision. Not really. I bought it straight away, and I sat by my post office box every day thereafter until I got this camera. As soon as it arrived, I took my very first 360 photo and turned it into a tiny planet. It was a photo of me and my budgie, Bobby, and I posted it on Instagram. I hadn't been on Instagram long at the time. I think I probably would have had about 20 or 30 followers, all my friends and family, of course. And it was the photo that stood out the most on my feed. Before that, I'd only posted DSLR photos. I used to be a big hobby photographer. I used to take HDR photos and many other kinds of styles. However, something I found as a photographer, and something that most photographers find, is it's so hard to take an original image. Of all the photos I'd taken, almost all of them had been taken 1,000 times before. If you just do a basic search on Instagram for like a sunset on a beach with a purple sunset, or a tight close-up on, I don't know, someone at a bus station or whatever. Something I struggled with was finding something, being able to shoot something original, completely original. And when I posted this tiny planet photo of me and my budgie, it was completely original. Well, it felt completely original. Obviously, I was inspired by Philip Bloom, who had made his own photos before. But it was one of the few photos I'd seen that was done quite like this. And something that I just love about tiny planet photography is that every photo you take, it's unique. Someone that hasn't seen 360 before will be totally amazed by it. And that's what really captivated me. That's what really inspired me to pursue it more. Because it's a style of photography that stands out so well from everything else. It just captures people's attention, they can't look away. If it's anything else, like someone takes a photo of their food and posts it on Instagram, it's going to get looked over pretty quickly. But when someone scrolls through and sees a tiny planet on their Instagram feed, they're going to stop and think, what the hell is this? This is so cool and I have no idea what's going on. As I did when I first saw Philip Bloom's photo. So after I posted my first photo, I got into the habit of it. I posted a few more. I was lucky at the time to be working in video production, and my travels took me to a few exotic countries like Fiji, New Caledonia, Vietnam, lots of different places. So I brought my 360 camera along and I took photos as I went, which provided really nice locations for me to shoot at. And I just made a habit of posting on Instagram every single day. And I looked long and hard for other tiny planet photos, and there were a few on there. I remember there was about 20 guys and girls around the world who were shooting this style of 360 photography called tiny planet photography and posting their work. There wasn't a lot of people, but you just felt an instant bond to them because like you were a like mind to this person who likes this weird ass style of taking photos. And it was so cool. And I never really could have anticipated at that time that it was going to become more mainstream, and maybe one day it'd be like the only kind of photo we take. Maybe you'll take a selfie on the beach and it'll instantly turn into a tiny planet. Maybe in a few years, who knows? Or it might not. Probably not. But it was just a style that was really quirky and unique. And I got totally inspired by these other people around the world who were taking these tiny planet photos, posting them on Instagram. We all followed each other. And it was a really nice little community that we started, and slowly as I was posting more and more work and as I was going to these locations, my work got better and better. I hold myself to a really high standard with my photos. I never really post anything kind of less than an 8 out of 10, so I really made a conscious effort to post my very best work. And I think I probably gained a bit of a following because of that, among other things like basic social media marketing and whatnot. But I really saw the potential of Instagram to network with like-minded photographers, and now my account is in a really good place because I just did this over and over and over. Consistency is key. If you post every single day, that's going to really grow your account. If you hold yourself to a high standard with your work, your following will grow and your interactions will grow. So this slowly snowballed. I got more followers, more likes on my photos. Not that likes really mean that much, but it's just good to know that the world is out there and finding and enjoying your work. And yeah, this slowly snowballed to the point that I hit 1,000, then 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000 followers on Instagram. And what was really cool to see was that there were now thousands and thousands of tiny planet photographers, just like a year or two later. It wasn't just 20 of us anymore. There were people in almost every country around the world shooting 360 and turning them into tiny planets. It was so cool that like this niche hobby had started to really gain a cult following. And it was really cool to be able to share my work with others and see their work and have them share their work with me. It was so cool. So yeah, slowly my account got bigger and bigger, and I started getting a lot of questions. Every day I was starting to get a number of questions about how I achieved this effect, that effect, and I was getting the same questions over and over and over. So I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm going to write a book, a little ebook that's going to teach everyone everything, just so I don't have to answer all these damn questions every single morning when I wake up. I can just clear my inbox and say, hey, get my book, damn it. I'm not going to explain this again. So that was a really cool thing to be able to do, because honestly, I never would have thought I'd write a book. It's not really something I've ever been good at, writing. Maybe in like grade 6, I did quite well in English, but once I got into high school, my grades went like this. And I'm not being dramatic, it was a fiery death by the time I got to grade 12. I passed one subject in grade 12, and that was film and TV. I failed so miserably. I'm embarrassed to admit it. I failed so bad. I don't know how anyone had any hope for me whatsoever, because like I was literally in the bottom 5% of students who I graduated with. And it's cool all these years later to see that like that doesn't really mean so much in the grand scheme of things, because I've made a damn good life for myself without getting those school grades. It's just because I didn't really pay attention, and I don't know, it was all about making friends and over-learning stuff. So I don't know, if I could have my day again, I'd definitely try and learn a bit more. So I spent a good half a year writing this book, and I ended up releasing it and got a lot of downloads. A lot of people bought it, and I got amazing feedback from it, which was really awesome. And these were the people on Instagram who I'd been interacting with, and a lot of new people as well. Every day there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are now learning about 360 cameras and discovering tiny planet photography. It is becoming more mainstream. So it was really cool to be able to give all of my knowledge to them straight away and have them kind of learn in a short amount of time instead of the long time it took me to work it all out. So that was a really cool thing to produce. And maybe I'll write another book in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But I think the point I'm trying to make in this video is that I'm no one special. I'm just a regular guy who discovered something cool, that experimented, played around with this silly little camera, and posted work consistently. That's it. Like, I'm not special. I'm not hired by a camera company or anything like that. I'm just a regular guy. And it's because I posted consistently and I really dedicated myself to learning this art form that I found success on social media, and that's really changed the direction of my career and really allowed me to pursue this professionally as a job. So really, if I were to start again, I would do exactly the same thing. And you know what? I'd be confident that I could build that following again if I just did the exact same things. Hold your work to a really high standard and post consistently, make your posts interesting and mix them up. And you can become a really well-known and respected member of the 360 and Tiny Planet community. Now there's heaps and heaps of people producing amazing work, and it's been so good to see people's accounts grow and grow and really bring more attention to 360 cameras and Tiny Planet photography. When I sit back and observe some of the accounts that have grown the fastest, I'd say they've grown that fast because the work has been damn good. Like, it's been to such a high standard that it's really hard not to take these people seriously as photographers when they hold themselves to such a high standard. And this means not settling with your first 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 images. Really spending the time. Spend half an hour or an hour at your shoot location, find the perfect setup, take the perfect shot and post it. Those are the people who can grow their accounts the fastest. And it's not like growing your Instagram account is going to be the be-all and end-all of your life, and having a big following means everything, because it doesn't mean shit, to be honest. So it's more about what you do with that, and having a social media following opens up new doors. It connects you with companies that you want to be connected with, and it really shows the world who you are, what you do. It's like having an online portfolio of your work. So when potential collaborators, employers, and whatnot want to see you, what you do, the work is there. And you have a really credible base of your work and your history. And for me, that's opened up so many opportunities with collaborators and paid gigs and business opportunities. It's been amazing, just posting on Instagram every day. So any 360 beginners, I would highly encourage you to do that. 2 things: post your very best work and post consistently, no longer than once every 2 days, every day if you can, because then people can look forward to your photo every single day. Don't overpost as well. If your photos aren't as good as you want them to be, don't post them. Wait until you get some really good photos that you're proud to put your name to, and then post them. I think it also helps to learn about social media marketing. Just having a basic understanding of how to tell stories and how to structure posts, how to write captions and stuff like that goes such a long way to really building an audience and an online following. I actually wrote a section in my ebook about that as well. Often I get at least one person a day reach out saying they love my book, but I'm finding more and more that they're reaching out about the marketing section more than the actual content. I mean, yes, it does help them learn how to make tiny planets, but I have an extensive marketing section that teaches social media marketing, and that's almost more valuable than taking a good photo. Yes, taking a good photo is really essential, but knowing how to show it to the world is even more essential, because I'm producing work now that I post on Instagram that isn't as good as some people who post their work and get like 5 likes. Whereas now my posts get like, I don't know, 400 likes on average. And personally, sometimes I don't think they're as good as some of these people who are starting, up and coming photographers that are posting really good work that's 10 out of 10, when sometimes I'm just so busy I don't have time to post my very best work every single day, and I'll post something that's like maybe 8.01 out of 10, yet it gets a lot of likes. So learning the social media marketing side of things is just so crucial. I can't stress that enough. Learn basic marketing. Doesn't take a lot of study, but just learning a few key principles will really help accelerate your growth and your reach into the world, so people will hopefully discover you faster. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, just rambling about my early days in 360. I always love grabbing a glass of port and rambling to the camera. Yeah, feel free to shoot me any questions. Be happy to answer them. I'm still a student myself. I'm still learning every single day from the kind of posts I make and from the feedback I get. So yeah, let me know. I'd be happy to help you guys out as much as I can. Something I really want to stress is if you haven't started or you're thinking about getting a 360 camera, get one, because they're really not that expensive, and the amount of value a 360 camera, especially if you're a photographer, can give you way over delivers compared to the $100, $200, $300 price point. And you're going to be taking photos that are so unique and stand out so much from anything else you've ever shot with a DSLR or a phone or a video camera, that it's just a no-brainer of an investment. This is why I've replaced my Ricoh Theta camera so many times. I've broken it, done stupid things to it, but it delivers so much value that I'll keep rebuying it, or rebuying a 360 camera. Now there are lots and lots of cameras out, so there are other brands to go to as well. But it's just such a good investment, and it delivers such an amazing experience to you as a photographer and a viewer that it just, to me personally, it beats conventional photography hands down. It's a lot better because it captures the moment so much better and with more realism. I think the purpose of photography is to be able to capture a moment in time, like a slice of time, and be able to look back at it with as much realism as possible later on in the future. And to me, 360 photography does that the best because it captures the full field of view, so you can look in any direction later on. And that's a really good experience to have as both a photographer and a viewer. All right, guys, rant is over. Hope this was helpful. Feel free to check out my book if you want. There's a big marketing section that'll help you out, as well as Tiny Planet Photography, of course. Teach you everything from A to Z. So feel free to check it out. All right, guys, that's it from me. Feel free to check us out on Instagram, and you can see the very first photos that I ever posted and see how they gradually evolved and how my standard got higher for my photos and how the attention got bigger. Just scroll to the bottom of my feed. It'll take 30 seconds. And you can follow my journey from beginning to end, because it's a journey that you guys can easily have too if you just adhere to a few simple guidelines. Okay, guys, keep living your life in 360, and I'll talk to you soon.